Welcome to Chrissy Chaos.
There you go. Welcome, Annie. How you
Hello.
doing? And now the Puerto Ricans, we have them go in the back there.
I love it.
That's what it is, yeah.
They've got their whole family back there.
Yeah. They work. They keep up with the property.
They're playing cards or something.
100%.
Can I just say, okay, so what's his name?
This is Mike Lavin, but it's the homeless
Mike,
pimp.
hello. I used your bathroom and you seemed a little nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's a little messy. You're smoke weed.
I mean, Mike, here's the thing with Mike Lavin. He's been staying with us, the homeless pimp. He's been staying with us for a week.
Yeah.
Twice. This is only the second time we've seen him with socks on. Normally he's got his feet out.
Okay.
Every day he's in the pool at 6:30 in the morning with his feet in the air.
Oh, I like that. Now, do you not go to sleep or you just wake up early?
I just have so much to edit. I have to keep.
Oh my God, you're just a monster.
He's on New York
Is he
time.
difficult to work with?
Oh no, he's great. But I'm on 5 podcasts.
No,
now.
he's great. The only issue in Mike Lavin's life, the only issue in Homeless Pimp's life is Joe DeRosa.
Are you doing
The
sweet
taste
tarts?
buds.
What's it called? Sweet tarts?
Yeah, sweet tarts. Yeah.
Sweet and savory. What is it? Salty and sweet. No, I thought that was the worst name ever. I called DeRosa. I was like, I want to apologize because I thought that was the worst name on earth. And then when I really realized what the premise was, I was like, oh, that's actually the greatest name of all time.
It's a great thing. It's a great podcast, Taste Buds. But me and Pimp, because I watch Pimp edit it all the time. It's Delilah and my stepson Tristan's favorite podcast.
Yeah.
And we were like, we should just have kids do the podcast and troll the shit out of them and be like, hey, your kids can do this too.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. I mean, it really is maybe the simplest thing I've ever heard.
But that's a genius idea.
Cheerios or Frosted Flakes. It's like,
and they Sal and Joe legitimately get angry at each other.
No, Joe is very serious about food. I have been known to slap some food out of DeRosa's hand.
Joe DeRosa, by the way.
Food slapping to DeRosa is so good because he's so hungry it. He's really been thinking about it all day. So when you slap a hot dog out of a hand, it's really you can hear the echo through the town.
DeRosa is, by the way, we got Hey Babe and Taste Buds, No Press Podcast Network. Go check it out on YouTube. Joe has abandoned stand-up now. Joe doesn't.
I know it's so funny. He's a sandwich shop owner.
Well, that's the other day. We're texting, and by the way, we will send this clip to Joe DeRosa. Don't think that we're trolling DeRosa behind his back.
We're talking shit on Joe straight to his face.
Straight. This will be edited and clipped and sent at Joe. As a matter of fact, tweet this clip at Joe DeRosa Comedy. That's how much we don't care.
Yeah, the joy of talking shit on Joe is only felt when it lands on him.
No, I'm literally.
When you see that hunch over a little deeper, he's like.
Yeah. No, it's. Yeah. Joe is the comedy clubs in New York opened last week, and Joe texts me. He was like, hey, not sure if you're still in LA, but let's go around and hit the clubs. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? You don't do stand-up anymore. You mean club sandwiches? Do you want to go do you want to go to the comedy clubs and look at the menus?
It's like the Sam's Club. I wanted to get some more plates for my store, my new restaurant.
Joe, stop. But speaking of podcasts, the BloodBath Podcast is, first of all, great podcast. Go check it out. Getting such incredible numbers. 4 episodes in. Now it's nice.
8, but it's okay.
8 episodes
6,
in.
7, I don't know. I actually don't know.
But it's just nice to see something crushing right out of the gate and just watch all the, comedians talk and be like, is it really that good? What are they doing? Is it just because they're girls? I'm like, no, they're crushing.
Is it just because it's good? Because it always works when you're just girls when you're talking.
Sure.
Guys love to hear girls talk. There's nothing about girls talking that screams
well, that's
big numbers.
We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it at some point in the podcast, but we always read a chapter from the 48 Laws of Power.
This is psychotic.
No, this is
mentally ill.
But there's 48
Wait,
laws.
can I just tell you when I went into his bathroom, this is going back to the beginning?
Yes.
The thing that stuck out was that you bring your toothbrush in tinfoil.
I'm trash.
Yeah.
And so am I. And I'm not going to lie. I went, oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I've known Annie since 2011, and it's since
I think way before that. I think 2000. Well, when did you start comedy?
I started comedy. The first time I ever went on stage was at the Creek in the Cave in 2009, but 2010 is when I started doing the Laugh Lounge open mic where we met.
Where there was actually audience?
Where there was actual an audience. But I just feel like you and I have been doing the Are You Garbage podcast since 2010.
Oh, yeah, I know. Why did they steal that from us? Well, yeah, no, there's a lot to get into. We obviously have a very fun history. We have a great history.
That's why I'm so excited. Yeah,
Did you do Donnell's rooms?
I did Donnell's Laugh Lounge room
Once?
No, I did it for like a year, but then he stopped doing it. But I wasn't like, I didn't do like 100 of his rooms.
Right.
You did.
Yeah.
Donnell Rawlings, Ashley Larry from the Chappelle Show used to run a comedy show at this place called the Laugh Lounge, but also there was the one he did at like Polka Nuts, right, up in Harlem. But the one that he used to do in the Laugh Lounge was just what I liked about Donnell, and what I still like about Donnell is he gives like young comedians like a chance.
Yeah, he does.
Like he'll just let you go up there and bomb, which I love, because most clubs be like, oh, I don't want to have somebody bomb on my.
Oh, and he'll be laughing in the back at you like so hard, which is so. The best part of like being friends with other comedians is when they laugh when you bomb. It's like you can't take the bomb personally if your friend is like crying in the background.
I remember
laughing.
one time I had a bit. I don't even remember how I got into the bit, but I had this bit, in like 2010, where I would like fall on the floor, and then at Darnell's show it bombed. Like pin drop silence bomb, and then I come off stage and
you have to stand back up. Is so embarrassing.
Yeah, so embarrassing. And then he comes back on, and literally his whole 10-minute set
was just making fun of you.
He was like, how many minutes in his head you think it took him to get up? He said it was only 10 seconds, but how many minutes in his head
Your black scent's so off, it's crazy. I mean, that was the
clip
worst.
that and send that to Donnell. That'll be good.
Donnell won't care.
No, he won't care.
Sounds like you need to lotion up your throat a little.
He's
got an ashy throat.
And look at this. And speaking of ashy throats and lotion up the throat, HPV. HPV, which look, I turned my HPV into little
family.
babies.
Family.
Did you ever think I would be able to turn my HPV into little families?
I'm actually so shocked, and I'm very glad to see the family back together. I'm very happy for you.
Yes, where I'm back.
We haven't talked in a while. We kind of peek on each other's social media. I'm very happy when I pop back in and see what's going on.
There it is. You come back in and everything's okay.
I have not had coffee in so long. I am going to talk a mile a minute while I shit my pants. This is going to be great.
Well, hey, zoom in. You know what the close-up's going to be. Why haven't you had coffee, Annie? Lent?
I was doing a cleanse.
Ooh.
Lent. That's so funny. I thought you would have said Passover.
Yeah. No, are you Jewish?
Quaker, brought up Quaker. But I'm like, 23andMe Jewish.
What a devastating blow to the Quaker religion that you are a member of it.
Well, the whole thing is about like silence and sitting quietly. But I think it's why I do stand up, because so the church is you like sit in silence, all facing each other, and then if you feel moved to speak, it's supposed to be God speaking through you. You can like stand up and talk. So my entire life would just be like, hey guys, every time I was like, it's my turn.
I knew that about you. Yeah, I knew like in the beginning when we first started doing podcasts, sometimes people would be like, oh, Annie's a bitch. I'm like, no, she's just a Quaker.
Yeah, I'm just a Quaker. No, it's so funny because everyone thinks I'm like.
No, you're not.
I mean, I'm not by many. Maybe I am if everyone thinks I am. We are what people think we are, I guess. But to them I am. But I keep getting all these DMs from people that are like, oh yeah, when we were enemies. I'm like, you were my friend the whole time.
No.
I'm like, when were we enemies? People in college have always said this. People are like, yeah, I hated you freshman year. I'm like, when you were my sole group of friends?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, what you are is
I'm a grower.
No, you are a grower.
I'm a shower and a grower.
Now you're a shower. What I think it is with you is you go against the grain in the sense of like you just ask for what you want, you command what you want, which is I know what that is now because that's what my 5-year-old daughter does. My 5-year-old daughter is a mini Annie Lederman, and it's terrifying. Yeah,
I definitely don't ask for what I want. I definitely no way.
No. You command it. Here, let's get into the 48.
I think people want to give me things, and I get things that I don't ask for. Like Donnell was never. Do you want to hear my Donnell story? How I got on that show?
Hello. Yes.
Okay, so I had never done stand up before. Okay. I moved to New York. I had done stand up like once drunkenly at a thing, and then I ended up quitting drinking.
What year?
This is 2009.
Okay.
2009, I moved to New York. I did an open mic where I got wasted, went home with a really unfunny open micer who you might not even remember him, and he's still an open micer. He's still there. He was my rock bottom.
What's his name?
We shouldn't say his name.
Oh, no, don't say his
That's
name?
mean, right? Is that mean?
I don't know. But is it a negative story towards him?
Maybe I'm his credit now. Well, I quit drinking after waking up on his air mattress fully clothed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Completely fully clothed. I was like, it was snowing. I was in Bushwick. I was like, I don't know how to get home.
But he didn't sexually
he told everyone I sucked his dick, which I'm like, I mean, you can suck someone's dick with your clothes on, but I was like.
Delilah earmuffs. Go ahead.
I definitely did. It's like, there's no way. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want her to hear that. You don't want her giving blowjobs naked. Jesus. No, fully clothed in a scuba suit.
Okay, so what happened?
But so then I ended up quitting drinking, and I went back to this guy, said whatever. So I ended up I just had done like a couple open mics, and I quit drinking, and I went to a party. My friend who I was staying with from the College of Santa Fe, his friend was Esther Koo, who was like down with Donnell. They were doing a bunch of shit together. And so she knew I wanted to do comedy through him. And they invited me to do you want to go to Ashley Larry's house for a Super Bowl party?
Okay.
So I was like, okay, sure. Of course. I love Chappelle's show. I go there and I'm talking to one of his friends. It's like, Donnell's crazy. He's cooking shrimp. He's like, it's so fun. He's got the best shrimp. I mean, I'm like, give me my fucking shrimp, bitch. I haven't gotten that shrimp in years.
Unchained in the kitchen. So that's like always his hashtags on Instagram.
But also it's like, who's chained in the kitchen? Isn't that like a woman? Aren't you just saying you're a man? Aren't women the one that are chained in the kitchen?
Yeah.
I didn't think black people were chained in the kitchen to cook. Anyway, who knows?
Anytime
clip it out, send it, add all your black friends. We'll find out. But so this coffee's working. So
I can't wait till the shit comes.
We have matched energy. I know, but
you know what? We have matched energy. We also have matching moles. Look at it. I have a mole here.
This one, I want to get rid of this. I don't like this one. I
want to get rid of mine too.
Maybe we do it together.
We're going to have our moles removed. Annie and I will remove our moles together. Patreon.com/ChristyComedy.
Yes. I keep telling people because whenever people are like, they make fun of it, I go, if you Venmo me $500 right now, it'll be gone by the end of the week.
Yeah.
It's like, I need them to pay for it. It's just like, I need the haters. But I like this one.
That mole, that's very Marilyn Monroe.
Cute.
That's this. Look, it's like one of these ones. Like this is like because I have a Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, you have one there too.
So we have matching there. But this one feels like a little.
It's not right.
It's a little cancerous.
And also with like weight gain and loss, it shows more or less.
But your weight is good.
My weight is an interesting place right now.
Where are we right now?
Let's just say Oscar De La Hoya is in a way lower weight class than me at this point. I mean, I carry my weight in a way that.
So do you feel like you're the weight? Do you think that you're at the weight that you were vaccine eligible in the first wave?
I honestly do think because my brother and sister-in-law just got it and they said they were overweight and nobody questioned them. I laughed in their face for like 20 minutes. Like nobody questioned because they're not fat at all. So you can. I think if you're just like 1 pound, I think I could get the vaccine. No, I carry my. Listen, it goes to the right areas, but I'm definitely at an extreme. It's my Jaeger and jizz weight for my earmuffs. Earmuffs. Jaeger is bad. Jizz. I'm past my drinking. I mean, it's wild.
You don't. You've been sober what? How many years?
Since 2009.
Since
January. Since I woke up on that air mattress.
Yeah. So what happens with the Donnell story? We're in the kitchen eating shrimp.
I'll come back to all the stories.
Oh no, we're gonna get to the 48 Laws of Power because Annie is defining the 48 Laws of Power and she doesn't even fucking realize it.
No, when I read that book,
you read this book?
Well, I listened to the audiobook.
She's the first guest to ever have read it, besides Tank Sinatra. Wow.
But you're not supposed to tell people you read it either. It's
Why?
a secret because it's.
Really?
You don't want people to know you're working their moves.
Is this a bad thing that I'm doing?
It's manipulative, yes.
Telling everybody every week this is exactly what I'm doing? Oh, shit.
No, I like it. Be real. Be open.
Okay, fine. Yeah,
be raw.
Real. Yeah, it's Chrissy Chaos. We real shit.
Chrissy K? Is that what you're saying?
No, the name of this podcast is the Chrissy Chaos Podcast.
Oh, Chaos. I'm like, you changed your name? This is weird. I was like, that's like, wow, you really had to make some apologies to her if you took her name. Wow, what did you do? Holy shit.
Yeah. No, Chrissy Chaos. I'm the new Kris Jenner.
Oh, I love it. You look a little older than her, but
Thank you.
Yeah, so Donnell, we go to this party and I'd done like 1 or 2 open mics. I would never but I'm talking to this one guy that's friends with him. This guy, his name was Jerome. He owned a candy shop. I don't know if this was like a joke and it was like, cause it was around when 50 Cent at the candy shop. I don't know if it was like they were all like tricking me and telling me that he had a candy shop and I was going to end up blowing all of them at once. Right. I don't know, but that was the case. And if his name's not Jerome, I am fully racist and I apologize, but I do recall it being Jerome. I do recall it being Jerome. Yeah. With all my heart. And okay, so I'm talking to him and he goes, "You're funny. Are you a comedian?" And I kind of go like, "Oh, well, I've done a couple open mics. That's why I moved to New York." And he goes, "Yo, Donnell, she's a comic. Put her up on your show." And I'm like full panic. Like I'm not ready to do a show. Right. So scared. I've been on stage for like 7 minutes my whole life. Right. And so then I go to, Darnell comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, I have this new show he's just starting. It was called Mashup Mondays at Laugh Lounge." Yes. He goes, "Come do my show tomorrow." It was Sunday, so I had one day. And I go, "Oh, no, I'm not really ready. I just started." And he's just humiliated me in front of everyone. He's like, "Go hard or go home, son." And I was like, I love being called son because I'm from Philly and I wear hoops. So I'm like, "Oh my God, a pass. Can I say it?" And they're like, "Still can't say it." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Are you sure?" "No, okay." But so he was like, "Come do my show." And and he goes, "Go hard or go home. Don't tell people you're something. If this is what you want to do, you just say you want to do it and you just do it." Right. He goes, "If Steven Spielberg came up to me and said, what accent did he say?" He clucked. He must have said African because he started clucking. And he's like, "I'm doing that African accent." I'm like, "You've practiced that. I've seen you do it for about 7 years on stage." But shamed me. And so what happened was I ended up going to the show on Monday. And then
he abused you.
He abused me and it was great. He abused his power and I'd like to take him down. I mean, I know we're not quite at black guys yet, so I'll keep my mouth shut. I'll just take down my white guys.
We're getting there.
And by the way, be careful how this goes because I will tell everyone you raped me.
Clip it.
That's my power as a white woman.
Yes. We were roommates, so we'll get to that.
Oh, I cannot wait to tell
We're
the
going to get to that. That's coming up after this.
Would have been a quick raping.
Quickie.
A real quickie. So anyway, so I go to the show. I'm in the audience, and he goes, "You coming back next week to do the show?" And I said, "Absolutely." So then I went, worked on my set, and I went up, and my friends came, and I think my parents came. That's so embarrassing how many times I had my parents come to shows in the beginning, and I was telling jokes about them that were not.
Yeah,
they were not thought out. I was pretty much just outing my parents for horrible things, but yeah, and it was really fun. And then he would bring me up I would do every Monday. He would give me 5 minutes. And he would do shit like, I would have my notes and he would just take my notes and he'd be like, go up now. And I'm like,
yeah.
And he's like, what? He goes, the work starts when you forget all your jokes. And then I'd be up there like, boo, 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 for 5 minutes. And I was like, boo. He took me to what is it, Laugh House? What's the one in Philly?
Laugh House.
Yeah, Laugh House.
L-A-F-F House.
Yeah, Laugh. Follow Friday. And so I did a show for him there. And fully bombed, people booing. It was amazing. I love a good urban room.
Yeah,
they tell you the truth.
Is that your birth control?
What is it? What's so embarrassing?
Is it your birth control?
No, it's visualization. I'm supposed to visualize what I want in life.
Is that really seriously
what
it is?
Yeah, it says visualization. I'm supposed to be like Tesla. Netflix, Tesla.
Netflix, Tesla.
And that's all I have, by the way. I just have a Netflix account. I'm like, no, I want to be on Netflix. Not that they're like.
Wait a minute. So what? So the alarm goes off and it says visualize. Does that mean you meditate?
I'm going to be honest. I've had it on there for about 3 weeks. I just turn it on. I push end every time. I've never done it.
But wait, hold on.
The alarm goes off. It goes off at 8 a.m., 8:40 a.m., 11, and I think 7.
And it's literally just to sit there and visualize what you want.
Yes, and not once have I ever done it.
Somebody.
Oh my God.
Somebody just read The Secret.
But I do a lot of that type of stuff.
Like stuff like that.
Or
No, Buddhist shit, like Richard Gere shit.
Yeah, I do Richard Gere shit. I put gerbils up my ass and I see how long it'll last.
Shout out.
Why were you see how long it'll take her to bring up the gerbils up the ass?
No, not that. It's just, I feel like she is the show in the sense of every segment. She's starting to talk about 48 Laws of Power stuff. She just did an Anxiety Tuesday segment.
She just did it.
We do a segment every show called Anxiety Tuesday where we ask the guests what they do to practice their mental health. And then your alarm went off.
Oh, I have so much more stuff, yes. But my dad has a good gerbil up the ass joke. He was telling me, he was like, he's like, because they're not letting you have emotional support animals on planes anymore.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because my emotional support, they'll never find it. It's a gerbil. My dad's funnier than literally every comedian.
And your dad's okay now, right? He's healthy? Because I remember we were roommates. He was like, every day, you were like, my dad's going to die. You were like, listen, my dad's going to die today. And then you'd be like, he's not dead. I felt that
my entire life. My dad was like, what's so funny is my dad was an old dad, but when I look back, he was 41. So if I have kids, I'm going to be at least my dad's age by the time I have them. I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, my dad's elderly. Every time he'd fall asleep, I'd check his breathing. I swear to God. I would go, if he didn't answer me, if I'd be like, Dad, and he didn't answer, I'd be like, Daddy! I would run up the stairs expecting to see him face down, ass up.
Croaked
but
him.
Never dead. But he had a triple bypass when we were
roommates. Yeah, because when we were roommates, so the roommate situation was this. It was.
Well, you're about to drop a thing that's going to really hurt, but it's okay. We can talk about it.
Okay, so
it happened.
It was an apartment. In I think it was Kingsland.
It was on Kingsland and Bushwick. It was across from Project, and then down the street from a rehab center for sexual abusers.
Right.
Yes.
So
never, and I was never raped by any of them.
There you go.
Very disrespectful. No one even tried to touch my ass.
Nobody came in. Nobody did anything. Well, one of our roommates, Mike Racine, did go into your underwear closet and sniff your underwears when you weren't there.
No, he 100%. I had a joke that, by the way, I did when we were pretty much doing open mics back in the day that I then did on the stage. I just randomly said it a couple years ago while they were filming it for the Comedy Store documentary, and they put it in, and I'm living in this do people think I've been doing my first joke for 12 years?
Yeah.
They put it in the fucking doc. But about how Mike the second day I lived with him, he was like, why do you lock your bedroom door at night? And I was like, why do you know I lock my bedroom door? There's no reason for you to, like, unless you want to come watch me sleep. Like,
yeah, what's going on? Yeah, because it was
that's the best case scenario.
That apartment. So it was my first apartment that I basically like moved out of my mom's house, which was only like
basically
10 blocks, 20 blocks from where this new apartment was. I stayed there probably
one night.
I was going to say, I probably paid the rent to live there for an entire year. I probably stayed there in total for the year 6 nights.
Do you really think you stayed there 6 nights? I don't even know if you even, I don't know that your head hit a pillow.
No, I definitely slept there. I definitely slept there at least 5 or 6 nights. And I think, two things. Number one, I think transitioning into a woman. No, transitioning.
It's going well. You look great.
Thank you. I like
very feminine. You're very passable.
Transitioning from moving in my mom's house into roommates. I don't think I was ready yet. And I genuinely, in my heart, still believed I was scared to sleep alone with the lights off.
He was 46 years old, by the way.
I was 29 years old. So I just kept going back to sleep at my mom's house. And then also, I don't know how to fix or do anything. This is when it really started to hit me that like I may look like a man, but I'm actually inside not a man.
That's the best thing about you.
Because the drain in the shower, because we knew Mike Racine was never going to be able to do anything, you know.
Except pasta sauce. I'm proud of him.
Pasta sauce is fantastic.
Who knew he could squeeze tomatoes? I mean, he does have autism in his family, so we should have guessed. But he's very good at squeezing things.
Shout out Mike Racine's pasta sauce. It is actually
absolutely delicious
pasta sauce. Him and Joe DeRosa need to team up.
I was just gonna say they should talk about it on Taste Buds.
So shout out Mike Racine. He's got a new baby on the way too. You
couldn't fix anything.
I couldn't fix anything because when our shower used to clog because your fucking clumps of hair would always fall into the shower.
I hope it was my hair.
I genuinely didn't know. I was like, is Annie on chemo? Like every time she takes a shower, and then so we would just stand it because nobody knew how to fix anything.
That was my pubes.
We would just stand in a puddle of water to try to take a shower, and I would like tell my mom because my mom would call me. She'd be like, "How's everything going?" I'd be like, "Oh, there's this problem, that problem, that problem." She's like, "Why would you move? Like just live here until like you actually can afford having a place with no roommates." And I was like, yeah, but I don't think I'm ever going to be able to afford that.
I know, that's like insane to think about that. Yeah. It was like crazy.
And then I started, I was doing physical therapy at the time. And then eventually when you moved out first.
No,
or
I lived there first. No, Dan St. Germain moved out. No, we lived there for a long time after you.
After me.
We had several roommates.
Who came in after me?
Okay, so it was Sean Donnelly's place first. He lived there with his ex-wife, and then they weren't broken up then. That's There's someone in my apartment building that does that. I'm like, why is your ex-husband always hanging out with your son? That's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm always like, is that his kid? I don't know.
I'd like to
start.
You got to do what me and we call her Vinny on the podcast. You do what me and Vinny did. Break up, get back together, have a kid right away.
It's perfect.
That's what we do.
I love it.
And then we'll break up again. We'll have a third kid.
I know,
Every
it's
time
great.
she's pregnant, just know it's because we broke up and just got back together.
You want to give the kids a little trauma, but
Yes.
also know that the trauma ends with like a happy ending.
Yes,
Anything's possible. If you think things are done, there's still a huge...
My daughter will come up to me sometimes and be like, "Daddy, I don't know where you live." Because sometimes I'm in my house. She has no idea. Now we took her here to LA. She's like, "What's happening to me?"
I know. This place is so cute. But Racine used to slide... one time he slid a piece of paper under my door that was just a stick figure cartoon of him holding a gun to my head while I suck his dick.
But that made you laugh, right?
Oh, I loved it. One time he was like, he went, "You know what, Annie?" Because I hated when he would like hit on me. I'm like, "Ew, leave me alone. Like we're friends. Stop."
Yeah.
And he was like, he's like, "You know what, Annie? You're really beautiful." And I spit in his face. And then he was like, "Fuck that." And he went to his room and he got all of his like cum rags he hadn't thrown out and he threw them in my face. This is literally the funniest thing that's ever happened in my life. Like it's full blown Me Too at this point, but it's like, I mean, when we cry laughing talking about that. He's like, "Can you stop bringing it up?" He's like, "Maybe not publicly anymore. I have a kid on the way." But and then I would be like sitting there. Sometimes I'd just be like sitting in the living room and he would come in and just spray my pussy with Febreze. I mean, it was good times. It was so fun.
Shut up, Mike Racine.
We had the best time. He's the best.
Dude, Mike Racine came over. This is a true story. I was moving from an apartment that I did stay in for a year in Brooklyn to move back in with my family after I got thrown out for a year. I was living in an apartment building. I call Mike Racine to move me from my old apartment, you know, because he's like, oh, he's like, I'm a mover, like, just use me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I text him, whatever. Mike Racine shows up with just a minivan that he had rented, no help. I'm like, I thought you had like a moving company and a moving
He's
team.
like, no, I move with you.
Yeah,
You pay me to help you
I'm
move.
like, you just charged me $800 to I moved. Like, I could have just got one of my friends to do this. And then one of the couches that he delivered, that he helped me, it was like it had like a motorized, you know, like to put your feet out.
Yeah.
The cord snapped. He was like, you're not covered for those types of damages. I'm like, what? Okay. And then we get all the way to Brooklyn. I'm sorry, we get all the way to Staten Island because we had to drop something off at my father's house. We have to pay a toll. He had left something all the way back that my father needed at my apartment in Brooklyn. He's like, you got to pay me for the extra gas and tolls. And I'm like, dude, this is your fault. This is your fault. And
Well,
then he
it's
texted me
funny when he charges you like $875. You're like, that's got to be specifically his rent. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
I know.
you know, he's like
Yeah.
$876.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, it's $875, and can you just get me like some orange juice and maybe a Keurig coffee machine or something like that? I'm like, dude. And then he texted me the next day. He was like, it was great seeing you. I was like, I never want to see you again, dude.
Listen, my favorite thing is he would call me when he was working for someone else's moving company. He'd be like, I had a bad day. I broke someone's table and I got to pay them or whatever. It's like he was like moving shit, just dropping it.
Yeah.
And
He's a
because he'd have that pasta sauce on his fingers. And
Dude,
just, like,
he's a great Twitter follow too, at Mike Racine,
Yeah.
RECINE. Go follow him, and he's great. But
He's perfect. He's so funny.
So we were the roommates, me, you, and Mike, for very briefly, and then I didn't realize that you guys stayed so long because here's the thing. Here's what I didn't like about that building. There was one time where I went downstairs, like I was genuinely like going to work, and the owners, as the physical therapist, and the owner of the building, or the guy who lived on the first floor, Jose, had like a legit pit bull off the leash going back and forth down the hallway in front of the door to get out of the apartment.
Yeah.
And I was like, he wasn't home, or he had just leaves his apartment door open with this pit bull, and I didn't go to work, and I had to call work and be like, I can't get out of my house. There's a pit bull downstairs.
It's a Cujo situation. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever deal with that where the dog was just walking around?
Not the dog, but I actually liked the people. It was like his mom or someone and his
he was a nice guy,
grandson.
Jose.
I ended up getting in a fight with him because I was like, I can't pay you rent. There was like a radiator or a heater in my room, and it would spew boiling hot water and flood my room and burn me. And I would wake up like in hot yoga, like I can't, like popping windows in the winter, just like almost dying. And also like there was always people like jumping off, killing themselves. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You see people like, I'm like, oh, okay.
It was a crazy.
And it was only like 3 floors. So you're like, that's like a risk. And like, you're just gonna up like in fucking, Midsummer when the guy jumps and he's still alive. It's like,
I know. I remember that building being like having like a weird, almost like satanic energy.
But I told him, I go, Jose, I can't pay you. I'm living in literal hell. I'm burning to death. And he goes, oh, it's hell? How dare you? This is a beautiful apartment. But I'm like, sorry, man. He totally like he fucking laws of powered me and flipped it on me. And then I'm apologizing to him. I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect I'm fucking burning to death, but that's fine.
Is your apartment in LA better than the one that we lived in New York?
My apartment in LA is like every apartment around me is under construction, and I'm just trying to stay until they buy me out, and they keep going like, we're going to buy you out. And then they'll be like, all right, we'll send you this number. And then I'm like, great. And then they're like, we changed your mind. We don't want to give you any money. And I'm like, all right, but I think I'm just going to leave.
Dude, 48 laws of power is the way to get out of any situation.
I do have one question.
Are you getting paid by this guy?
No, we're not. I genuinely, he's going to come on the podcast though.
Oh yeah. He went on Whitney's podcast. Whitney was, oh my God, you got to watch it. Whitney's like, hi, Robert Greene. I'm like, ew, Whitney. She's like, Robert. I'm like, Whitney.
Clip it.
It's so crazy. I'm like, Whitney, leave this man's
Shout out
married.
Whitney. Pimp has a question, which Pimp always has good questions.
I do have a question. Do you have any embarrassing like stories of Chris barking or back in the day?
Like
DMX style?
Like
or?
anything you remember about the apartment with me in it?
I mean, you not living there was good. He really only lived there for one day. Like, yeah. I'm telling you, like, I was taking it personally. We thought it was going to be fun because Mike and I had so much fun there.
Yeah, you had to like audition roommates, and I won the audition.
We ended up just bringing anyone in, and it got dark after that. We were just like, come on in.
You were dating a guy.
Ooh, a very obese man.
Okay, don't mention his name.
Oh no.
No, let's talk shit on him so we don't have to mention. We can trash him more if we don't say his name.
Got it. Yeah. So your ex-boyfriend used to date who I thought was a nice guy.
So did I.
To be honest with you, in the breakup.
So did my mom until she was weeping twice.
Yeah, I know. In the breakup, we all kind of took his side. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not true.
No, it's not true. No, we took Annie's side.
Well, you must have been like, how molested were you, Annie? This guy is fucking physically hideous. I mean, he's one of the most hideous men I've ever seen.
I know.
In my life.
I was like, oh boy.
And it's not like if he lost the weight, like the face wasn't good either.
I remember too going into, because you had the biggest room, and one day your door was open. I took a peek inside, or maybe I was in with you, and it was just like you had like all pictures of like you and your father up. I was like, this girl has deep trauma. What was happening?
Well, it's because my dad was so old. I ended up doing ayahuasca, and I was like, my whole ayahuasca trip was me like being like, your dad's gonna die, bitch. Get ready for it. Like I had a funeral for him in my ayahuasca trip.
Can I ask you something about ayahuasca? Because Vinny's ex-husband, who we had on the podcast, took ayahuasca, and another good friend of mine took ayahuasca. When you took ayahuasca, did you have an opinion about God? Did your opinion about God change? Anything with God?
No, because it's this like woman came to me and talked to me.
Who
And God's not a woman. Ew.
Shout out Ariana Grande.
That's disgusting.
Did you? So
not a woman anymore. She did transition.
Yes. What did you experience on ayahuasca?
God is her dead name. We don't say that anymore.
Yeah.
What did I experience on ayahuasca? My feeling about God has always kind of been, because with Quakerism, God's in the form of an inner light that's in everyone and everything except that ex-boyfriend. God is trash.
Yes, Quaker God sounds a lot like COVID.
Yes, yes, he does.
It's everywhere. It's in everybody.
It's in elderly people. He brings them on. He takes them on to the next life.
Yeah.
That was just death on their door.
Ayahuasca.
I feel, it definitely was like tapping into like a higher level of something that was like, but that's already inside you. That's what's so wild about it.
So when you came out of that experience, because I'm genuinely contemplating maybe trying to do it for the Patreon, patreon.com/Christy Comedy.
Also, patreon.com/Annie Lederman.
Yes, go to Annie
Also,
Lederman.
I'm doing cameos, baby, and I'm not ashamed of it.
That's what it is.
I'm not ashamed of it, baby. Listen, do you know how expensive my jokes are? And you're gonna get you're gonna get a 1 to 7 minute cameo from me.
And she has the BloodBath Podcast. It's like, listen,
BloodBath
if this
Podcast.
apartment building ain't gonna buy her out, Cameo's gonna buy her out.
Yeah, bitch. And also, I have my own podcast, Me Inspiration, that's been on hiatus because I had cluster headaches, but it's coming back soon. Chris,
Coming
will you
back
do
soon.
it?
There you go.
Chris, will you do it?
Yes. I'm gonna come on it. Ayahuasca. So ayahuasca, when you were on it though, did anything like profoundly change?
Yes.
Because people say like, our good friend of the show, Mike Cannon, says like you need to do
Who?
like.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
Who's that? What's that guy?
Yeah, Mike.
He's a dad, right? He's
Shout out
a
Mike
kid.
Cannon. Yeah, he's the only
Does he
guy.
have 2 now?
No, he's one child, but he pulls off salt and pepper hair like better than anybody.
Yeah, when did he get older than all of us? He was like such a young guy, and then he just shot ahead of us.
When he watched you get a bigger career than him. He just went fully gray. I'm kidding.
I thought you were going to say when he saw the baby come out. But
Yeah. No, he was already great. I want to shout out my Aunt Colleen, who's been using the Lucy nicotine gum, and this lady was smoking for 45 years. She hasn't put a cigarette in her mouth ever since she started taking Lucy. It is a nicotine company that was founded by Caltech scientists, so these are smart kids, and it's just the best. Lucy.co is where you're going to go, and use the promo code CHAOS. And what is it? If you go to Lucy.co, promo code CHAOS, Lucy.co, promo code CHAOS, you get 20% off your products. I always forget this one because it's so mind-blowing to me that you get 20% off. That's a big discount. All you have to do is go to Lucy.co, that's Lucy.co, and use the promo code CHAOS, CHAOS, 20% off all your products on your first order. You can't go wrong. It's 2021. Get rid of the ciggies. Unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum. They got beautiful flavor, and they have lozenges, by the way. You'd like to suck on something, which I know some of my fans do. They got wintergreen, cinnamon, pomegranate. And, Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine and a cherry ice flavor. I love a little cherry ice. And each and every flavor tastes great. And my Aunt Colleen has been using it, and she can confirm that it all tastes awesome.
The flavors are only for the gum.
Oh, the flavors are only for the gum. Sorry. So the gum is only wintergreen, cinnamon, pomegranate. The lozenge is cherry ice flavor. So all you got to do is go to Lucy.co, use the promo code CHAOS, and you get 20% off. I also have to give this disclaimer, so it's just what it is. This product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code CHAOS. They told me to legally say that, so I freaking said it. Now pay me. Transcend Labs. I love CBD. You know I'm Chrissy CBD. I've been really working on my anxiety a lot, and this has helped me so much. The 2 things in my life that have helped me the most get my anxiety down are CBD and not going to church. Those are the 2 things. Once I got Jesus out of my life and CBD into it, the whole life changed. Transcend Labs is the one that we've been using. Pimp gave me some that we're doing the Chris and Eddie show and on my Patreon, and we started taking these products, and I was like, wow, let's get these guys involved because Transcend Labs, there's a lot of CBD products out there, let's be honest, but they're voted number one CBD product. Transcend Labs is voted number one by LA Weekly. So that's pretty big. LA Weekly's pretty big. I mean, I'm in LA right now. Are they going to be voted one in New York Weekly? Probably. New York Weekly going to give them number one too when I bring the news back to New York City. But I'm telling you, Transcend Labs, this CBD product was legit. I know there's a lot of CBD to choose from. Transcend Labs is just dope. I've taken it. I was so anxious to take it at first, and it's done nothing but help my anxiety and drive my anxiety almost to zero, and I feel good. I mean, I've been going to the gym, working out. It's been awesome. I've just, I don't know. I'm so calm I may come out of the closet to my dad sooner than later. I don't know. All you got to do is go to transcendlabs.com. That's TranscendLabs.com and enter the code Chrissy D. Okay, not chaos. You got to enter the code Chrissy D, which is CHRISSYD at checkout. And guess what? You're going to get 50% off your order. So 50% off your order, you might as well try it. It's 50% off if you just put the promo code CHRISSYD, CHRISSYD, transcendlabs.com. Number one CBD, voted number one. Visit transcendlabs.com and enter the code CHRISSYD. I'm telling you, this is one that is really going to help you out. If you've never tried CBD, try it out. If you're a CBD connoisseur, then, just use this one too, because I'm telling you, this is the one that I've been using. It's the one that works, and I haven't stuck it up my butt yet, but the night is young.
Welcome to Melt Time. It's Titi Jerry's time, guys. Hey.
What advice would you give to a woman who's on a date where she's afraid of the guy she met off the internet?
She met over the internet?
Yeah, and she feels scared of him.
Have she ever met him?
This is the first time, and she's afraid of what's going to happen. What do you do? What do you do on a date?
I would give her an advice, and I would tell her to get to really know him first, get to know his family and everything, what background he comes from and everything, what kind of job he got, check his, everything about him before even meeting him. Mm-hmm. His background and everything.
What would be your red flag for a potential person you're dating?
I would not. I just tell her to be careful,
Like if you were dating somebody and they did something that you would break up with them for, what would it be? Just cheating?
What would it be? For lying.
For lying.
Lying.
Have you ever had to break up with somebody in prison?
Oh, yeah.
How'd that go? How do you break up in prison?
I just tell them, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to be with you no more. That's it.
Wow.
And I just go with somebody else. I meet somebody else.
And then they fight.
But they end up fighting and all that. And one of them leaves. So the first one, they got to leave. So then I'll stay with the one that didn't go nowhere. If the other one got transferred, then hey, bad luck for you. That's it. Yeah, but I'll tell people these days to be careful when they date on the internet and all that, because it's really dangerous. You don't know who you're messing with and everything, and just really find out where that person really comes from, his background and everything, before you get to go and meet him in person.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Ella Jill writes in, what's a crime you think shouldn't be illegal?
A crime?
Yeah. Like something you can get arrested for that you shouldn't.
I think smoking marijuana.
Well, it got legalized yesterday here.
I know, because they really be locking up a lot of people for having marijuana on them, but I heard they're making it illegal now. Or little things like that, like, nothing really important.
Have you seen, like, people get locked up with you that shouldn't be there, and then they turn into, like, they get kind of traumatized by jail and go the other way?
Oh, yeah.
All the time?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What, like, do you have any stories about one? Like how?
Like when they go to the other way, like me?
No, here, make sure you're talking to Mike. No, like somebody who you're seeing in jail and you go, this guy shouldn't be here. And then after a few weeks, he's like he's one of the hardest guys in the cell block.
Oh, yeah. It happens. There's few guys in there that they think they're all that they run to jail and everything. Even the officers be afraid of them. the officers, they be afraid of the guys like that sometimes and everything, you know. They become, a lot of people don't get along with people like that because they become like snitch, you know, they call him a snitch. And the other inmates will be afraid of him because they can't do nothing around him and they can hurt him, they can do anything to him. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, he's one of the highest guy in there that all the officers respect and all this and that. And he can move any way he wants around the jail. So a lot of people are afraid to cut him or do anything to a guy like that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tanner Largent, sorry, I'm screwing up these names. How accurate does TT think prison shows like Orange is the New Black is in real life? Is that accurate?
Yeah, some of it, what they do on TV is kind of real. Yeah, things they do
like
there and
parts?
everything.
Like little.
It happens like in the showers.
Yeah.
You know, in the showers, or they go in the showers, and while you taking a shower, they will cut you or stab you.
Wow.
You know, things like that. Yeah.
The showers sound.
Yeah.
Well, you love the showers though.
For some guys, not for me. The showers is great for me. Because I ain't causing no problem. I'm just looking for one thing.
Make sure you're talking to Mike.
I'm just looking for one thing, and that's what they were looking for too. So the showers really ain't no dangerous for me. It's really not that bad for me.
So the shows are pretty accurate. They're pretty
Yeah,
good.
they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Chris P wrote in, has TT ever thought about working with prisoners as a mentor for transitioning transitioned inmates?
No.
No, you'd never.
No, I never want to see prison again. I never want to step another foot in there for anything. No.
Good for you. I'd be the
No.
same way.
There's other jobs I could get. I've been in there living all my life. Why would I want to go back in there? No.
No, it seems like a
don't.
trap. Yeah.
No.
He said, like, you know, like doing psychedelics like a mushrooms or ayahuasca, like it opens up like that third eye, whatever. But like for comedians and entertainers, it's so important because like it unlocks things jokes you would never thought of, routes you would never take.
Yeah.
Do you feel that was true?
Yeah, it was insane. Two of my hallucinations were, one was about my dad, but I had like a eulogy for my dad. I was like mourning my dad who is still alive. And
Barely. How did he not get taken out by COVID?
Because they fucking stayed in. They were so good. My parents are angels. They're COVID angels.
I was genuinely thinking about that. Like when COVID first hit, I was like, if Annie Lederman's dad survives this, it's not real.
Dude, honestly, the earth would have burned if my dad went down. Like
I was like, you thought she was a bitch in 2009?
I would have been like, Sam Tripoli, it's not real. Sam Tripoli would be beheaded right now. I'd have him on a stick.
Oh, we should do it anyway. Okay, so what happened? Ayahuasca hallucinations.
Okay, so I'm having this like funeral for my dad, and I'm crying. I'm giving a eulogy. I'm thinking of him as like the leader of our tribe. I'm seeing how I have 2 brothers, and my older brother has 2 sons, and my twin brother has 2 daughters, and I'll obviously have a hermaphrodite.
Yes.
But, so like, I'm just like, oh my God, we have this perfect family. I'm thinking about how much I love my sister-in-laws and like my mother, the matriarch. Like I was just seeing how my dad has like trickled through us and all these, and I was just, this is so incredible. And then as I'm crying for my dad, like he's dead, right? I'm crying. I put my hand on my chest to like relieve it. And then my hand gets all heavy and his hand is inside my hand and his body, he's inside me. This is the only time it's okay for your dad to be inside you.
Right.
But he was like inside me and I was like, oh my God, like my dad will never die because he is me and he will always live like through me. And I'm like crying. And it just was like this, like relief of this sort of like fearing of this inevitable thing's going to happen. And it was really amazing. And then I called my dad afterwards. Like I was driving home, by the way, I was like still fucked up. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's so beautiful. Oh wait, don't turn the wheel with it. And I'm like almost like crashing. And I'm like, Dad, I'm like okay with you dying. And he's like, Jesus fucking Christ, bitch.
Oh, so you didn't go to like Peru or anything like that. You did this
but my shaman is my shami. I am Shami's pet. I'm his favorite. Yeah. It's so funny how much my ego's involved. I'm like, do you like me the best? Did I have the best share? Yeah. But he came to the Comedy Store. He is from South Africa, but he lives in Brazil, and he studied in Peru and gets all his medicine from there, and does like all of his chants and stuff are from Peru.
Would you suggest like ayahuasca?
Yeah.
You would suggest like people should do it. Can you die? Can you get stuck in that? Like, what are the possible repercussions of it? Negative repercussions.
I think maybe if you're not wanting to like go to dark places, because it's like what I always learned from DMT, from even
DMT
mushrooms.
as well.
I've done
We're little by little finding out that Annie is in full drug addict.
Well, I'm
yeah.
No,
She's like, I've been sober since 2009
no,
for
I've been
alcohol.
sober since 2009. You know, other than ketamine, special.
She's like specifically.
Ketamine, Adderall.
Yeah. Specifically, I haven't had a Budweiser
cocaine,
specifically
yes.
since 2009, but everything else counts.
Bud Light does not count.
Yes,
It's light.
Bud
It's
Light
barely
doesn't count.
beer.
Corona doesn't
Barely
count.
beer. It's like water.
Yeah, that's so funny.
No, but I do anything that's like mind expanding. I will do.
Right.
And Coke if it's there, but
Yeah, you
just
got
a little bit.
How else are you going to taste if your smell was knocked out from COVID?
Well, sometimes you got to stay up to do more hallucinogens. I'm like, come on, I got more acid to do.
That's
but,
very interesting. Because,
but here's what I learned
Yes.
from all my hallucinogens. That this is the feeling I always get. That like when you confront life for what it is equally as like fucking insanely gorgeous as it is disgustingly hideous. So like with life comes death and all these things, and it's like you have to confront that there's like both sides of it. So ayahuasca for me is like it's hard, right? Because it's
So
you're
am I.
seeing that and you're thinking about are you kidding? Come on in, kids.
I'm surprised Vinny didn't jump
Hop
in
on
right
daddy's lap.
Normally she'll come in. Okay.
She's trying to get double
No,
pregnant.
a lot of times, like I'll say something so stupid, and she'll walk in and get the mic and just be like, "You cut that out," or be like, "Say that shit again. I'll throw you out again."
Show
Like,
me my face.
things like that again. So, but Vinny, oh, now she's looking at me. Okay, keep going about ayahuasca.
But it's so, you know, if you're not ready for it, I think you'll know. Like if you're not.
Yeah, because some people I've heard they'll take it and they'll just like vomit, and it'll be like an experience that they're like, I never want to go near that
But
again.
the vomiting is not like vomiting. It's not the same type of thing. It's like purging. So, okay, for instance, when I did my first ayahuasca trip, Brody Stevens had just killed himself. And I
out,
was like, so my first side of the trip, I was on this side, which is supposed to be your masculine side.
The right side's the masculine side.
So I was thinking about my dad. I was thinking about all that stuff. And then when I flipped over, I was like thinking about my mom. And then I started thinking about Brody, and I started really losing about Brody because I was thinking about Brody and how he didn't realize, because we all loved him so much. And we saw him like every night. He was just such like a part of our lives. And it was just like crazy that he got away. Like it was just crazy. It was like insane.
Because I obviously knew Brody Stevens, and you know, if you guys don't know him, check him out. I'm sure you do if you're comedy fans. He's
His
the
new
best.
stuff is like killer. It's like, wow.
Well, you'll see some new comic eventually like just take his ambiance and everything
of course,
because he was so uniquely
Specific, yeah.
him
You
and
guys
specific.
see a ghost hunting thing, went to the Comedy Store, and apparently they thought they communicated with him.
Oh my
Really?
God, it's so
It was
rude.
so
Well,
ridiculous.
because I didn't know him
So
that.
rude.
The thing that was upsetting, I guess this is
I haven't
anybody
know-
who commits suicide too, is I heard multiple people say kind of the same thing where they think like he just had like a bad 5 minutes.
He was
Yeah.
was changing drugs. He was either going on them or off them. I was talking to him the day before his last day at the comedy shop, which was a Wednesday. He killed himself on Friday, or they found him on Friday. And I was talking to him right in front of the parking lot, and we were like, and he was like, yeah, it's just like my meds. I'm like fucked up. Like I'm really down. And I was like, have you tried Special K? I literally was like, no, I was like, you should talk to like Neil Brennan, because Neil Brennan had just done like ketamine therapy. And I was like, because the thing with ketamine therapy is a lot of people say that when you're like, antidepressants take a long time to start working. So you have like 2 weeks where you're kind of fucked up, right?
And you're like, ketamine as therapy?
They do ketamine therapy. Yeah.
So that's what Luis Gomez was doing in the woods at the
right.
wedding.
I mean, I've done some therapy at a few raves myself.
Yes. Wow, so interesting. So they can control ketamine.
Yeah, they have it. They give it to you intravenously. Is that what's it called?
Yeah.
And intrapenously. What is it called? All I know is I sucked someone's dick at that doctor's office. I've sucked a lot of dick for K, but it was a medical situation. Yeah. But so he... So I was like suggesting that, and it was just like a weird situation. It was just like he just was like in a bad spot, you know.
Right,
and he had that before, but he was inpatient when he had that, and it just like sucked that he just didn't. And he was reaching out and talking to all of us, but we didn't know he was gonna fucking kill himself.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's my fault. And
yeah. So you saw in your ayahuasca trip, you realized that you in fact killed Brody.
Yes, I realized that. No, but what? Okay, so I was realizing.
The police are here.
Okay, I was realizing that. I was feeling like in my trip, I was feeling like twitches. Like I get PTSD twitches from traumatizing childhood. But Avi, I'm a comedian.
True.
But so like I was getting like these twitches and stuff, and I was realizing like I felt like there was like wings inside me or something, right? So then I was like, I was crying about Brody. I was like, it's just like so sad that he didn't feel how much we loved him. And I was like hugging him and just like, cause he was just like our family, you know? And so I was just like crying and thinking about Brody and just like giving him a hug. And then I just like felt like I needed to purge and I hadn't thrown up yet. And so I just sat up and you bring a bucket. It's BYOB, bring your own bucket. And I brought my bucket. Do not bring appreciated in. That's really nasty. But
Yeah.
So you bring it and I was just like, I felt like I wanted to like get this thing out of me. So it wasn't like I'm puking, I feel bad. I was like, it was coming out and it felt like this is so great, but it felt like my ancestors were like pushing this thing out. And it felt like there was like this egg. You know, I could feel this egg and I'm trying to get this egg out. It was like my throat was giving birth and I like didn't want to push it too hard or whatever, you know? So I was like, just like letting it come out and I was like getting help from my fucking ancestors. And then all of a sudden, like when I started to purge, a fucking bird flew out of my mouth.
Wow.
And I mean, no one there was like, there's a bird, but like, it's like, I felt like a bird fly out and it felt like Brody was like flying out of me.
Wow.
And it just felt like I got this like relief of like, maybe like, guilt that I was feeling or whatever that I was like attached to. It was crazy, yeah.
And when you came out of that, did you genuinely feel
It was a pigeon, sorry, shit right on my head.
Did you
One wing.
Did you genuinely feel better?
Yes, I did.
Like interesting. So do you feel like you actually are in a better state mentally, emotionally, and all that because of the psychedelic
experiences? I did it. I've done it 4 times. So I've done it 2 weekends, but twice each time. And yeah, no, it's been like incredible. So there was that one. And then the next time I did it, I had been in this on and off again relationship with this guy and I couldn't like, I just needed to cut it and I couldn't cut it. It was like, he obviously wasn't good for me. And I had a dream or I had a vision of like, my life is this tree. And I went down this one branch was like, if I married this guy.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, just go see what this is going to be. So I go down this branch with this guy and we immediately have like the most special needs kid, the most our kid you've ever seen. Like, I mean, the most like, not like you push him around in a wheelchair. Like I worked with kids with special needs. Like I'm great with wheelchairs.
Yeah.
I'd be a great wheelchair mother, but it was like bones and skin and it was breathing and there was like eyeballs on each side of it. And we're like standing around the crib and both of us like, we shouldn't have done this. Oh my God. And then he just started to shrivel up and get old and like crumple up like an old apple. He was like shriveling up.
Oh my God.
And it was getting really dark. And then that was the end. And then the rest of the tree, I couldn't see it, but I could feel it was like blooming and blossoming in blue. And I was like, or green, not blue. But I was like, oh my God, I have to never fucking touch this guy again. And then it was just like, it was like a lesson that was
and then
like,
you literally got out of that and cut it.
yeah, done.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, okay, that's like it just gives you like the answers you need. And I remember saying also, what is there something I can do for my career to like, what's the next step for my career? And it literally was like Mother Ayahuasca. What's that?
Call Lil Lester.
The Mother Ayahuasca goes like, you need to like get your girls going.
Yeah.
You have all the guys, like you need to get a girl audience. Like you need to like, it literally was 3 girls in my head. And it was like Powerpuff Girls. It was like rainbows and sunshine and all this stuff. It was like, get your girls going. And I was like, didn't understand because I was like,
yeah.
But they're not funny.
And now.
Listen, I was born with both.
And now your podcast is you, Little Esther, and Kalila.
And it's banging. It's so
Can
good.
we say Little Esther anymore or is it just Esther now? What's the deal?
No, you can say, Little. You can't
so-
say Esther. She doesn't like it. It's Edgar.
It's Edgar now. With Edgar.
No, you can say Little Esther, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because the podcast, it's pretty powerful shit. It's one of those things where having a daughter, sometimes I feel like, and this is ready for some mansplaining, man stuff right now. Sometimes I feel like being like a comedian and having a daughter, this is crazy what I'm about to say, and I'll probably get yelled at by you for it, but that's why I want to say it to you, is sometimes I feel like having a daughter, like, and being a father of a daughter, like, I'm more like responsible for like women in comedy and all that stuff than like a woman in comedy with no kids. You know what I'm trying to say?
Like you think that, well, you have a horse in the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I almost feel like, like some woman,
in the race,
in the comedy will, say something about like, you don't understand this or that. And I'm like, you don't even have a daughter. I have a daughter. I'm thinking all day, every day about women, helping women and all that stuff. And sometimes I feel like as a man, I'm like, but don't say that publicly. But then I was like, you could say it in front of Annie.
Yeah, I don't care. Say
Okay.
whatever you want.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Not just one daughter.
No, now I have a second daughter on the way. Who we said, because we found out yesterday, the gender reveal, that we're going to have another girl. And I told...
The shit you must have done to women to deserve this.
I know.
Every time a guy gets 2 girls, it's like, wow, you did some shit.
Yeah, my 20s, early 30s was no bueno. But we're still... Obviously, I made a promise to the fans and all that. And, Vinny is like, you're not going to do this for a bit. I'm like, yes, I am. We're still, even though it's a girl, going to name it Donald. That's 100%.
You have to. You have to.
Donald Distefano is her name.
Donald Trump Distefano.
Donald Trump.
Do it.
I want to name her 2024 Distefano.
Yes.
All right, 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power, real quick. Oh, hi, honey. You okay?
Hello.
You want to say something to the mic? Annie, have you listened? Can I
have one high five, please?
Have you listened to one thing Annie said? Oh, yeah,
What?
she can't come in front of the cameras.
Oh,
only
you're
her
not.
voice.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah. All right, go ahead. Go
You're
by
a
the
good
pool.
girl.
She does listen. Look at how beautiful she is. Isn't she a
She
beautiful,
is
beautiful
gorgeous.
kid?
And you said the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life when we were in the makeup chair on Girl Code.
What'd I
Guy
say?
Code versus Girl Code, which, by the way, how was that even able to happen?
I know.
It was like, literally, the topics were like, they were like, do you think women should get paid as much? And they're like, Charlamagne. You say no. And Charlamagne's like, nah. And I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. What did I say in the chair? I don't remember.
You were like, listen, every time I have a bad day, you're like, every time I'm having a bad day, I'll just walk into the kitchen. My daughter will put a hat on, it'll fall off. You're like, she's wearing a hat or something. It was like something about her putting on a hat that made me laugh so
Make you laugh
fucking
so hard. Yeah, I know. Well, because she, like, having a child, it, like, snaps you out of our careers, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in comedians' career or entertainers' career, or really anybody's career, where like you can get very much consumed about, oh, I didn't get that, my boss didn't give me a
So
promotion.
boring,
But
yeah.
like she will just come out, like literally, she just like we went to Whitney Cummings' house, who's got beautiful house. We were in the pool having a great time, and then we get back in the car, and Delilah, my daughter's like, she's like, Dad, like we need to get a house like Whitney Cummings.
Is her name Dalia? And you just so it's Donald and Dalia.
I changed it.
Dalia and Donald. I love this.
I love it. So so she was like, so my daughter was like, she was like, we need to get a house like Whitney, and I'm like, well, like I'm trying, like that's why Daddy.
I'm trying, bitch.
I was like, I know.
Daddy's fucking trying.
I was like, well, if your mother's teaching for Zumba.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Why don't you come on camera? If you're on camera, maybe we'll make more money.
Maybe we make some money.
Kids make money.
And we listen. If you're a man, if you were born a man or identify as a man, and you want to feel comfy, wumpy in your clothes, I got the solution. Mack Weldon clothes. I have Mack Weldon stuff. It's so unbelievably comfortable. It's like the best. And Mack Weldon is a one-stop shop for men's basics. They got socks, shirts, hoodies, underwears, polos, active shorts, whatever you need, babe. Mack Weldon has you covered. It's just one of those things that, like, if you're a guy and you just want to, it's hard for us to buy clothes sometimes where I'm like, I don't know what the hell I want, but I just go to Mack Weldon and they got everything I need. They got custom fabrics. They got all the good stuff. 18-hour silver, air knit X, dry knit, warm knit. And Mack Weldon has created a totally free loyalty program. Level 1 gets you free shipping for life, okay? Not for a year, for life. Once you reach level 2 by spending $200, Mack Weldon gives you 20% off every order for the next year. I mean, these people are like giving it away. It's unbelievable. Mack Weldon wants you to be comfortable. So if you do not like your first pair of underwear, you can keep them and they'll still refund you. No questions asked. It doesn't matter if you shorten them. It's the best. And even more of a discount. Here's the thing for the Chrissy Chaos listeners. Mack Weldon, that's That's MackWeldon.com/chaos and enter the promo code chaos, 20% off your first order. So they're already giving you 20%. Now you get another 20% off your first order. And it's amazing. All you got to do is go to MackWeldon.com/chaos as the URL, then enter the promo code chaos when you're done shopping. I mean, you can't lose. Mack Weldon, I'm telling you, it's comfy, wumpy clothes. I got a pair of underwear upstairs. I got socks up there. I got a sweatshirt from Mack Weldon. It's actually the best. I mean, I want to meet this guy, Mack Weldon. He sounds like he's got a nice, thick hog. And, we're in the car, and she's just like keeps it real. I'm I'm trying. And she's like, you need to try harder. And I was like, yeah, babe, but like, you don't just snap it, you don't just snap your fingers and get a house like Whitney. And she's like, why don't you just dye your hair blue? Like that was her.
God.
That was her thing in her. She's like, just dye your hair blue, stupid. And I'm like, maybe that's what I need to do. People will look at me more.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, and then dye it pink when people are sick of the blue.
Yeah, that's what it is. Just go full Antifa. So, okay, so here, 48 Laws of Power. Real quick, let's get to this. The law that we picked for you, the law that, I know, look, Vin, it's like, you will not listen to their conversation. I know.
So pretty.
Have you guys been hearing pretty much the whole podcast? Uh-oh, here we go.
Here she comes.
Speak
so
your truth.
pretty, by the way. You are so
How
pretty.
beautiful is she?
Prettier even in person, honestly.
That's why I'm staying away, because you look like fucking Scarlett Johansson.
You're but I don't want to say Sandra Bullock because you're like hotter than Sandra Bullock.
Speaking of Sandra Bullock, guess what Delilah's favorite movie is? Bird Box.
We
watched Bird Box last night, and she got pissed when we turned it off. And then when we put on the jungle,
where you like the plot doesn't make sense.
when we put it on the Mowgli, which is like the Jungle Book for Disney. Disney, she was scared and terrified and was like, somebody sleep in the bed with me. She literally wants to go to sleep watching Bird Box over Disney movies. But go ahead.
She's your daughter.
She is my daughter.
But yeah,
and whose
on
daughter
one
is that
side,
inside you?
I'm sort of attractive and I'm attracted to you. On another side, if Chris looks at you for more than 3 seconds, I'm going to fight him later.
Don't worry.
No,
Chris has never made any sexual advance at me ever.
Right. Say that again. Say that
Never
again.
once a sexual advance at me once ever.
There you go. Did we have that on
Platonic from the
camera?
start. Platonic from the start.
I've never
Let's
did.
be real. He's a tit man, but it's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't.
He's like, sir, can you get away? I'm trying to look at this hot girl.
Yeah, I wasn't attracted to you. I was like,
I also look like Taylor Hanson, so maybe that's the one he sees.
I was like,
I'm like a mirage. You know, sometimes people see a naked lady, and then other times it's
Stop,
dolphins.
stop. I was like, yeah.
Keep going, girl. Don't
Yeah,
stop.
Yeah. I was like, okay, here we go. Law 30. Oh, no. Here
For
we go.
Kim D. I like to call myself Kim Dillon.
We just thought that it reminded us that. So this is Law 46, and this is what Annie, because, according to Vinny, Annie
That's my
looks,
age, 46.
Annie
Don't
looks
look
too
good.
perfect. But Law 46, the law is never appear too perfect. Oh, God.
Oh, that's so sad.
He lost it.
That's the one you picked for me. You're like, she's a little off. No, I always like to say I dress like you want to see that I got like a little bit molested. Like, oh, was
Yeah.
she was molested.
Well, that's what it is. That's why I never hit on you, because I was like, she has daddy issues, but not really, so I'm not attracted to that. She doesn't have a tattoo on her tit, not attracted to
No
that.
tattoos.
Yeah, so I'm like, that.
Lost my virginity on a waterbed in Northeast Philadelphia.
That's a plus for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
in a basement. Okay, to the music of DMX. R.I.P. Miss you.
Miss you, love you.
No tramp stamp.
Here we go.
Miracle.
Law 46, never appear too perfect. Judgment, appearing better than others is always dangerous, but most dangerous of all is to appear to have no faults or weaknesses. Envy creates silent enemies. It is smart to occasionally display defects and admit to harmless vices in order to deflect envy and appear more human.
That's why I
and
flash my tits. People go, oh, poor thing.
Yes.
Oh, that's what she's been dealing with?
Only gods and the dead can seem perfect with impunity. So there you go. So that's one of those things where I would like to read, because I feel like, and that's why, I'm
honestly surprised you can read. I'm very impressed.
a lot. You know what? A lot
This
of
is
people
huge.
are. I know. I went on the Whitney Cummings podcast, and she had a game at the end of the podcast of just words that she thought I couldn't read or spell, and I read and spelled them all. I was like, yeah, I have a doctor.
That's so embarrassing that she literally had like a team of people come up with that thing for you.
Yeah.
Like 7 people are in a room and they're like, he's a slow reader.
like,
he's a reader that can't.
He puts the re in reader.
Yes. Do you have any sweet tarts?
Here's something that La Rusha Fashuld said.
Here we go. Right away, he ruins it.
ROCHEFOUCAULD. It says it takes great
I
talent.
put the LD in that sentence.
There it is.
Learning's disabled.
It says it takes great talent and skill to conceal one's talent and skill. So there you go. So you got to be really talented to prove that you're not talented.
This is such a insult.
Yeah.
You're like, you've never been good.
Yeah, but you're doing so well, so that's your skill, is to appear like you have nothing going on.
No, you know what's so weird? You know what I've really been realizing? I've been realizing how much my low self-esteem, my low self-worth, at the core of me, not believing that I deserve things and stuff, has really hindered me. I never post my stand-up. I've never done a special. I've always been kind of afraid to solidify it into that form.
Right.
And then the other day Laugh Factory posted one of my sets from 2013, still doing a few of those jokes. Well, Chris, let's be real. Until he cut his hair, I was doing that fucking joke for about 27 years.
I was doing a douchebag haircut joke for a long,
he was
long
literally getting the haircut just to do that.
That's how you know that that's that and
It's
that.
a prop comic, honestly.
I woke exactly.
Well, I used to take my bra off so my tits would look smaller.
Yeah.
I had to duct tape my tits just to do my
baby tit show. I know. I used to get a douchebag haircut joke, which sometimes if I'm bombing, I'd still rip out.
We'll all rip them out. You got to rip out some of your hair to be more douchebaggy.
But no, look.
But I posted it and it's good. It's I was 2013. I was a baby, but it was good. It was solid.
No.
Everyone loves it. It's doing really well. And I'm I hid that. I was scared of that.
You know what happens?
Why be a performer and be scared?
No, you can't. I feel like with performing and being quote unquote artist, whatever, is just I just try to put out what I think is funny and cool. And if the fans don't like it, then it's whatever. I hope they do, but if they don't, it's kind of cathartic for me, and I hope it helps people and people laugh. But if they don't, then you just keep going.
Right, exactly.
What do you want me to do?
But I've been getting so much more in tune with that, where it's what do I think is funny? What's funny? That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because what am I letting chatting. Like, let's say we were painters. Painters aren't like, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like this?
So what happens though in this book with the 48 Laws of Power, this chapter as I read through it was, they talked a lot about envy, and they said Machiavelli said,
I was so envious of my ex-boyfriend's tits. I will tell you that. They were so really gorgeous.
But it said
little uneven.
Machiavelli said envy is a weed that should not be watered. So he was saying that, like, basically, like when somebody's envious of you, or if you're like in a relationship and there's like jealousy, you have to just like walk away from it. And if people are jealous of you, you have to understand that the more successful you get, it will add envy. So what he's saying, what Robert Greene is saying, is always try to, no matter what you have, always try to appear like more common, or at least highlight some defects. That's why I kind of think it's nice.
That's why I live in my car. That's why I live in my car. That's why I live in my car.
Yeah. 100%. That's why I live in my car. That's why, I let my psoriasis flare up. It's like, hey, listen, I'm a very itchy person.
You think we should keep these? Is that keep it normal?
Let's we have our moles. Look at this. Like, we're going to die of cancer too.
They're going to grow back. There's no way they're not growing back.
Mine's a big one. And then, it said, like, what you have to do, it says, let envy if you let in envy turn inward, it poisons the soul. If you expel it outward, it can move you to greater heights. So you can use, if you're jealous of someone, what he's saying is you can use that to actually do great things, as opposed to just putting that in. And maybe that's what you're seeing in your ayahuasca trip.
No, but I totally understand that, where it's like, because you can change envy into like, oh, that's something that I want for my life, instead of being like, fuck this person, they had like, why don't I have that? If you just go like, oh, I can get that.
Yeah. If
like Whitney's house, like we could all get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I fucking can't tell you how, but somehow if I can get it, if she can get it, we can get it.
Well, that it is true, because it is. It's like.
By the way, everyone that leaves Whitney's house is like calling their like business managers, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I swear to God, every comic I've ever talked to.
It's a beautiful home, but I feel like. I don't know the exact things, but I'm sure it has to be, and what I'm following is she just put her heart and mind to something. That's genuinely what it was. I had a great conversation with Tom Segura on the podcast last episode. Yeah, I know. See, he would love that. That's what Tom loves. I obviously we're kidding, but Tom Segura he's doing so well and has so many things going on. It's all in his own terms, because he's like, dude, all I did was put my heart and mind. He was like, and he prefaced, he was like, I know it sounds like corny and spiritual, whatever. Yeah. He's like, but I just put my heart and mind into the podcast and said, all I want is my podcast to grow. And he was like, and now it's like, you can have your movies and whatever you want. He's like, I literally do a podcast with my wife, and I get to see my family and children all the time.
Well, think about how crazy it is. If you're like, okay, my dream is to, in 2 years to have a movie, this, that, like, it's hard for your subconscious to believe that. Like, to say, I like all of those things, but if you can just say one thing, like, you can focus on that, and all of those things can come from it.
Naturally perfect, which is Annie, have to work the most to disguise their brilliance, displaying a defect or two, moles, to deflect envy before it takes root. It is a common and naive mistake to think you are charming people with your natural talents, when in fact they're coming to hate you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true stuff.
Well, because I'm telling you how many people have hated me, and I'm like, there's so many times, like, there's this one guy, this one comic, I'm not going to say his name because I've never discussed this with him. But so he, like, I had heard, because I knew he didn't like me, because I would comment things on his Instagram. He never followed me back and never, like, responded. And they were fucking funny. Like, the things.
Right. Annie's got some fire tweets and comments.
You're my friends. I'm coming at you. We're comics.
I love it. I almost feel like that's how you know Annie likes you, is when she's mean to you. I'm like, yes, this is great. We're friends.
Like, we're New York comics. Like,
I was going to say, we're comics. It's like, that's what we do. We make fun of it. We're always roasting each other.
I just want to laugh. My dad, literally, I jumped into I'd gained all this weight. Yeah. I was like 15 pounds heavier. I was on a family vacation, was jumping off a dock, diving in. My dad goes, hey, look, it's Annie Weight Gainus instead of Greg Louganis. It's like, I grew up on that. This is what we do.
I know. When Vinny came in and she was like, you look like Scarlett Johansson. I was like, what, with COVID? Like, she looks
skinnier? Oh my God,
like Scarlett Johansson.
Nice.
Have you seen Scarlett Johansson? Get the fuck out of here.
She looks like Scar. Maybe Scar. But so Sean, you remember Sean O'Connor?
Yeah, of course.
He's writing now. Yeah, he's a writer now. But he always goes, "You're Scarlett, no Hanson." So funny. But what were we fucking talking? What was I saying?
That guy comic.
The guy.
Oh,
comic,
right. So he goes. One of my friends was like, "Do you not like Annie? Like, what's up? You've never like had her on your podcast or whatever?" And he goes, "She said something once when we were out at Swingers, which is a coffee shop, late night diner." And he goes, and I don't remember what it was, but like everyone laughed. She said something to me and everyone laughed. I go, You mean I'm a good comic? Like, what are you talking about?
No.
And I think it's with guy. I don't want to do gender shit, but I think there is something because I'm a girl that I come with a male energy, and they take it as like an insult from a girl, and I'm like, I was never going to prom with you. That was never even an option. So like,
but that's
it's
why
not
I think,
like a rejection.
But no, there is a degree of truth to that. That's why I think like I've noticed like my male peers, and I'm not saying like whatever. People do what you want to do. You don't want to have kids. You don't want to get married. Whatever. Teach their own. We support it all. But I've noticed like my male peers who have families don't get so angry at, you never hear them saying women aren't funny, or you never hear, because I'm like, I whatever, like I tweeted at Jessica Kirsten yesterday, like everyone go follow Jessica Kirsten, just because I'm like, I'm around women all the time. I got my daughter, and I'm like, women are great, but
she's gay. That doesn't really count. She's not a full woman.
Clip
her and add it. Just kidding. I love you, Jesse. Yes. That's just me being like, why wasn't I in your documentary, bitch? I'm taking you down. I'm gonna meet you, that bitch. She molested me.
Clip it.
She fingered me. Jessica Kirsten fingered me in a green room. I said no. She jerked off in front of me in a hotel room.
Same with me. I was fingered by Jessica Kirsten on the road.
Yes, you're done, bitch.
You're done. Here we go. Here's an interesting part of this book, though. That this is one you don't see coming. This is like, this is eye-opening. He says, excessive praise is an almost sure sign that the person praising you envies you. They are either setting you up for a fall. It will be impossible for you to live up to their praise, or they are sharpening their blades behind your back. At the same time, those who are hypocritical of you or who slander you publicly probably envy you as well. Recognize their behavior as a disguised envy and keep out of the trap of mutual mudslinging.
I love that. Everybody wants a piece.
Everybody wants a piece.
You all want it. You all want to be me.
Win your revenge by ignoring their measly presence.
Yes.
Nice. So that's how you win. You win by ignoring. That's why people always tell you, ignore the haters. Ignore. And you know what, to be honest with you, I feel like I get people hate on me on Twitter all the time. I've never responded to anyone, and it's almost like when you're like, like when I was single, and you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't like hook up tonight or try to go hook up tonight, and then you don't. You wake up the next day, you feel so powerful. You're like, I don't even have to worry about my pee stinging because I no way I have an STD right now.
I know. Sex is like not worth it. Honestly, it's so stressful.
It's so awesome being in a monogamous relationship.
Yes,
I don't worry about anything.
Yes, it's
I'm
so
like, okay.
good.
I'm like, somebody will say something about me is from, like I don't care anymore. I'm like, there's no girl I pissed off.
So nice.
I don't have to worry about my pee.
It's
like
so good.
Literally,
it's like worse being a girl because it's like they're putting it in you. I'm like,
I know.
Oh, you're putting the disease inside me.
Right now, if I like have trouble peeing, I'm like, whatever. It's prostate cancer. It's not. That's the worst it can be. It's fine. You'll get through it.
I know. I'm like, maybe I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
For only a few days. Don't worry.
So that's interesting because I feel like that's why I want to do this Law of Power with you, because I feel like this was a good one for comedians where it's like, especially like I feel like even like with quote unquote canceling or jealousy, it's never from the fans, it's always from our peers. It's the people closest to us want to hurt us the most because they can't. That's why I think it's so important. This is my Anxiety Tuesday thing. So important to have something outside of your career.
Right.
In any career. Like Japan has such a high suicide rate for men in between 50 and 60. They have the highest suicide rate in the world because in the Japanese culture, they attach whatever job they have from a male.
Oh, I know. You kept going because in Japanese culture. I was like, whoa, you're going there? I was like, that's so racist. I was like, what?
Yeah. Look, stop the Asian hate.
No.
Honestly,
I was getting my nails done and I didn't like what she was doing, and I literally went, stop Asian hate. Like I was about to be like, what the fuck is this? Why is it so thick, bitch? And I was like, no.
No, but they have such a high suicide rate because in that culture they associate themselves with their job, whether they're like a truck driver or a CEO, and when they retire from the job, they feel like they have nothing to do and they kill themselves.
Yeah.
So you have to like have a life outside. So outside comedy, you're a prostitute, which is nice.
I'm a full-blown prostitute.
Yes.
Same
with me.
Yeah, no, I do a lot of like work on myself. I do a lot of, I just like, because it is. It's just our job. It's what we do. It's like,
I know.
It's so fun though. We really are so lucky. It's like the most fun job in the world.
I know, this is great. I mean, literally we're like just on a couch talking and it's like literally having the most fun.
And only the weak quit and make sandwich shops. Clip it! Clip it!
Yeah.
Clip it!
Go follow Joe DeRosa's comedy. Annie, where can people find you, see you, all that stuff?
Okay, you can, also I brought these.
What do we have?
My controversial masks.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's plug these.
Okay, hold on. There's so many tampons.
Glasses or mine? Are these yours?
They're mine.
These are the same ones that I was wearing the other day.
Twinsies!
These are Maxie's glasses. These
That's my twin brother's name, Max.
Maxie? Do we have a?
Oh my
He was on our
God.
Patreon. Go to patreon.com/ChristyComedy.
/ Annie Lederman. Go to mine. He probably has more followers than me, but I need to get out of my apartment. Come to me. Come
That's
to
true.
me. Come to me.
That's true.
Manifest.
By the way, I didn't pay for this Airbnb. The True TV paid for this. So don't.
Oh my God. I know. I was like, he's so rich.
No. Don't think. No. This is True TV shit.
I'm very impressed by True TV. Who knew?
100%.
Who knew they still had it? They still got it.
Yeah.
It's literally just tampons, old mail, a mask that I'm not selling.
Yeah, I want to see your mask.
And my mask. Okay. These are
what
my
is it?
controversial masks. I drew these.
Whoa. Nice.
great.
Eat in vagina.
That's
Not
great.
funny?
Where can people get that?
Okay, you can get them on my website, AnnieLederman.com. You click on the picture of the mask.
Can you leave one for my family?
Of course, this is for your daughter.
Yes, it's very.
But it does come in kid sizes. So it's controversial because, so I first came up with the idea like the night before I went on Rogan.
Okay.
And my last appearance, I've been on a bunch. I'm friends with all the famous people. Chris is very lucky to have me.
Yes. I've never been on Rogan.
Well, pre-Spotify was really the jam, but oh, it sucks. Wow.
Perfect.
It's like now you gotta pay. But so anyway, so I came up with the idea for these.
Right.
Sorry, Jessica Curson, bitch. Got to him first. And then before Rogan, so I drew this and sketched it out, and I put it into like a mock mask, and I went on Rogan and I had Jamie pull it up, marketing. I go, Jamie, I got this idea for a mask. Pull it up. I go, Rogan, do you think people will like this? He goes, they'll love it. He goes, but you have to make it immediately because someone's going to steal it. So then I just made it happen. I got these ordered. They take a month to get, so don't get mad at me. Because I have to draw them myself. I dye them. I sew them and then I send them to you.
That's how Annie's stopping Asian hate. She's
I am.
going
I've
in there
become
doing the work.
Asian. I've become Asian. I give myself 10 cents a week.
Good.
I'm an Apple worker. But you can buy these on my website. But so because Joe is like attached to them, when I made them, Joe was like, I'll tweet them out. So when I'm setting up the Shopify account, they just have all of these people's faces that you can put the mask on. Like it's just like photoshopped on them, and they have them where you can put them on kids, and I was like, oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I was like, that's hilarious to have this on like a little boy and a little girl went out, and so it was just picked like the mask was never on the kid. But this is suggestive. This is you. If you think this is dirty, you're projecting that on this. This could just be I got something stuck in my.
Yeah.
I'm licking something out of my. I got some COVID stuck in my fingers.
Yeah.
But so I did the website, and then Joe tweeted it, and the picture of the kid with it is the thing that showed up. So he says, my friend Annie Lederman has these great masks. And I was like a little kid like this. People were coming out of the woodwork like, what's her name? The singer-songwriter was like, take it. It wasn't Sheryl Crow, but someone like her was like, Joe, take it down. It's a child. This is terrible. I'm like, bitch, go fucking strum your guitar, bitch.
No, dude.
You don't get the joke? I was like, you don't think that's funny? People are freaking out. So then I had to take it down and redo it. Joe's like, you're a fucking mess.
You just gave me.
But so now I'm like, controversial masks.
Well, no, because I was stuck in an idea for my daughter's 6th birthday gift, and then boom, go
This
to
is great.
AnnieLederman.com.
Surprise.
There it is. What about stand-up dates? Any dates coming up? Anything?
Working on the tour. Check out, just follow me. They'll be coming. Follow my Instagram. That's where I shine.
Yeah. And BloodBath.
BloodBath Girls. Follow BloodBath Girls on YouTube. Subscribe and also follow Me Inspiration or Annie Lederman. Just follow my YouTube.
There you go, Annie.
Cameos, all this stuff. I'm very good at marketing.
Babe, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure doing this, babe. Yeah.
Hey, babe.
Yeah, well, I could say that because Vinny's over there outside cleaning the pool. So.
Well, he meant it just because I have the chest of a babe.
Yes.
They're actually great tits and they are online. They did leak and they haven't gone viral.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to look them up, they're pink, they're great, they're cute. But I do self-deprecate for fun because I'm trying to let you guys not see how perfect I am.
Yes, there you go. I did,
Laws
and I
of
did see
power.
them once because Mike Racine stole Polaroid pictures of them in 2010, and he still has them.
I mean, if you have Polaroid pictures in 2010, the hard work that you had to go through to get the Polaroid film,
it's worth
because
it.
it no longer exists, is worth it. And you can sell my kitty porn.
There you go. Let's go do ayahuasca.
All right, bye guys.